Welcome to Runako Universe. I know everything, you know nothing. I'm joking, but only kind of. Anyway, I've got problems in the world to solve. First of all, everyone's trying to figure out where we stand morally on this Luigi guy shooting the CEO of that health insurance company. They're like, should he go to jail? Because the guy who he shot was working for a company that's pretty terrible. But at the same time, we're not trying to encourage everyone to kill people. Here's what I think they should do. Because it happened in New York, they should use New York's natural resources to try to solve this problem. What does New York have more of than anywhere else? Rats. Exactly. So what we do is, we take Luigi and we tell him, hey guy, we get why you did what you did, but you can't just go around killing people. So you gotta go live in the sewer. We put him down in the sewer with the rats. We pour some chemicals down after him. Boom. One of the rats becomes kind of sentient. It gets big. Luigi starts teaching the rats all of his pro people thinking, all of his morals. He trains the rat how to fight as well. That rat, 5 years on, is now Master Splinter. Then we throw some turtles down in, and you see where I'm going with this. We throw some turtles down into the sewer with him as well. Now what do we have? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What they're gonna do, they're gonna start cleaning up crime. We're not gonna need so much healthcare because there's gonna be less crime. Turtles in a half shell. They're on the subway. They're eating pizza. Pizza rat, no, pizza turtle. Father rat. Sensei rat. Luigi's son, thereby the Ninja Turtles will become Luigi's grandchildren, and so his legacy of fighting for what's right will go on, but we as humans won't be in the position where we're supporting murder. Because if it's turtles killing people, that's just another day, That's just how shit plays out sometimes. So that's what I think we should do. That's the solution to the whole issue. That gets us out of the moral quandary, and it also helps, as a whole, lift society higher. We drop him in the sewer with a rat, some chemicals, give it 5 years, boom, 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 drop 4 turtles down behind him, and the whole issue is solved. It's going to take some time, but we're not looking for quick solutions here. We're looking for good, long-lasting, permanent solutions to our problems. All right, now that issue is solved, once again, good job, Runako. It's the Yuletide season, and a lot of you out there having parties, and as someone who lives in Japan, I've just got to warn both the people who are throwing the parties and the people who are going to the parties to be conscientious of the fact that, listen, it's a Christmas party, you're splurging, you're buying a lot of cheese, etc. Please remember that on a regular, cheese is a luxury in Japan. We don't have so much access to the cheesy goodness. Have you bought a pizza this year, like a Domino's or anything? If you live in Japan, they are at this point. At this point, cheese is an afterthought. It's more crust than cheese on these pizzas, basically. So I say all this to say, don't go into a party and see a huge block of blue cheese and some camembert, and then they have a nice Gouda with some herbs in it and a sharp cheddar, and then you just end up in a cheese frenzy. It happens. It's happened to the best of us. It happened to me quite recently. Cheese frenzies can happen to anyone. But when you end up in a cheese frenzy, what happens next to your stomach that's not used to eating this much cheese? You've got it. You got to take a shit in your friend's apartment. It's your first time in your friend's apartment, and now you're dropping a nasty. You're blowing up the bowl. You're doing the doo-doo dance in someone else's house. Do they have a toilet brush to fix the trouble you're about to cause? Are you going to leave a Jackson Pollock on the backboard? Who knows? So let's kind of, pace out the cheese. And if you can't, plan your route home with a lot of 7-Elevens on the way. So you gotta, because you know the way that cheese is gonna start coming out. It's not one steady out push. It's gonna take its time. You're gonna have to drop off some here, drop off some here. So you gotta plan yourself a little scavenger hunt of 7-Eleven toilets that you could just drop in, blow up, buy a piece of gum because we are respectful. And we're not just going in to use the bathroom and not be customers. Buy a piece of gum before you leave. But you go in, you do the deed, you grab a piece of gum, you chew your gum, By the time you finish 1.5 pieces of gum, you got another cramp, boom, you're in another 7-Eleven. So if you're going out to a Christmas party, remember to either limit your cheese consumption or have a really airtight toilet plan for your way home. And let's not drop deuces in our friends, bathrooms. Let's not stink up our friends' homes. That's not respectful. It's not good. And you're not gonna get invited back. That's the main thing. Unless you're me and you just that fly to be around, cuz anyway, so we're entering the holiday period, and a lot of people have a lot of time off, and they're watching a lot of shows. So, Runako Universe show recommendation for this holiday: I am rewatching Entourage. Entourage is the story of Vincent Chase, who is a budding actor in Hollywood, and his friend group who go around just fucking. That's that's what the show about. They just going around fucking. The interesting thing about Entourage is every song in the soundtrack is rap, but apparently there ain't no black people in their version of Hollywood. There are some, but they're very specific jobs that black people can do in Entourage. You can be a security guard, you can be an assistant, you can be a any job that's a lot of menial labor. You can be a rapper, of course. You can be a sports person. But then anything else, if you're a model, if you're an agent, because there's a lot of agents and managers, there's no black people doing those jobs at all. There's literally several episodes where a black person just doesn't speak at all. Not a single, hey man, I don't know where in LA this is, but it seems like a lot of people who complain about LA, maybe it's changed because Entourage is an old show. But from my non-American perspective, a lot of people are like, oh, LA is so woke or whatever. And a lot of those people who have that kind of opinion also don't seem to want to be around black people. So if they can find wherever Entourage was filmed, they can see a lot of tits, because there's a lot of tits in this show. But they can see a lot of tits, and they can also avoid the coloreds. If I don't run you down, you don't want to be around me, I don't want to be around you. That's why I'm not watching Japanese porn no more. Ain't no Japanese woman trying to fuck me. Well, fine, I'm not even gonna fantasize about fucking you no more. I take my balls and I go home. Not that anyone cares. Once again, this is the Runako Universe holiday extravaganza. If you live in Japan, you know we do this thing called Osoji, which is the big clean. In Trinidad, where I'm from, we also do something like that. But we do two, actually. We do one for Christmas and we do one for New Year's as well. But luckily, I am no longer in that kind of oppressive lifestyle. I can do only one clean. Thank goodness for me escaping. If you haven't gotten to your cleaning yet, and you're trying to figure out where to start, because it's a real pain in the ass. If you're trying to figure out where to start, I have some suggestions. It depends. I would say your starting point is, it depends on how clean or dirty your house currently is. So let's say like your place is mostly tidy and you just need to get some of that deep cleaning down, like floors being mopped and walls being wiped and windows being washed. I suggest you go to your nearest supermarket and buy some candy, find some children out on the street, and lure them back to your place. Once the children get in, you lock the door behind them. You say, hey, here's a rag, here's a mop. Would you like to see your parents again? And that'll sort that out. And they've got small hands. They're going to get up in all those crevices, because sometimes that's where the dust really lives. So that's if your place is mostly clean and you just need to get some really deep and some hard to reach areas, get a child, if your place is very, very, let's leave very dirty for last. If your place is kind of dirty, it's messy and then kind of dirty. So the mess can be moved away, but then you've got to do the deep cleaning on top of the messiness. What I recommend for that kind of person is a little bit of advanced planning. About 11 months advance planning, to be specific. So what you do is you knock someone up around January, they make the baby around, I don't know, I'm bad at math, somewhere in October-ish. You got 2 months to really get that kid into the habit of crawling and getting some, those little mop pads and cleaning things together. So you get your kid into the habit of getting some cleaning done for you. So yeah, ask any Caribbean parent, they will tell you the best way to get your house clean and keep your house clean is to, one, have children, and two, always be shouting. Always be shouting. ABS. Always be shouting. If you keep your child in a constant state of anxiety, from the time they see you, boom, they're going to head off and they're going to start cleaning. And that's the way, listen, for generations, the Caribbean has been keeping it that way. And I suggest that to you if you're in a kind of a middling place in terms of the level of cleanliness in your home. For the people whose place are just in a mess, it's just horrible, there is a fantastic free product that's available to everyone. It's called Fire. It's too late at this point. It's New Year's in a few days. You're supposed to complete your OSOG before New Year's. Just, listen, Fire is going to get rid of all of that mess in your house. Just start over. Start new. Make sure you have your fire insurance well set in and just raise it to the ground and get right back on it. I wish you a happy new year with all your plans and your homelessness. Finally, some people might be, a lot of expats. Most of my life is expats out here because I myself am an expat. Getting poor enough to enter into immigrant status soon. So, I'm on the line between expat and immigrant. And some people still feel homesick. And they say to me, Runako, you know everything, we know nothing. How do I deal with my homesickness? And there are a few strategies I've come up with over the time. I think a lot of homesickness comes from when people are online and they're seeing people back in their home country just having a good time and enjoying their festivals and enjoying all their traditions that they grew up with. And these people are having a good time and you might be by yourself and lonely. So how about calling your friends and family and make up some kind of lie about a terrible thing that's happened to you and ruin their holiday? And when we do this, what we do is we don't better our holiday, but we ensure that our friends and family are also having a bad holiday, which is going to really reduce that level of jealousy and reduce the homesickness overall. Perhaps say that you found a lump and you're not too sure what it is yet. In a way, that's not necessarily a lie because you can then say it turned out to be benign at the end of it all. Or perhaps you had the cleaning issue, burn your place down, and then call and say that you are now homeless. That's going to really screw everything up for them because then they're going to have to use all of their holiday money to find you somewhere to live. So, really get innovative with those lies and fuck up the holiday of the people who seem to be having a good time while you are not. You also have the option of just get drunk. Just spend every day off you have until you're back to work drunk. Just blotto on the floor. As Lato said, put it on the floor. What do you have to look forward for if you're not drunk? Well, what else? You start early, you start drinking early, you end drinking late. You just keep a constant level of buzz. Hydrate, rally, back to it again. You can even, if you want something a bit more positive, I think some people want something a bit more positive, you can even try cooking some of your traditional recipes from back home as well. And what you do is you make these things that your family used to make and your parents used to make and you eat them by yourself and you just pretend. You pretend it's as good because it's not. It's not. It's not as good. It's sad. You fucked up the recipe, kind of. It doesn't taste like home. And all it reminds you of just how many things you failed at. You're by yourself. Your food tastes off. It's not bad, but it's close enough to the thing it's supposed to be that it reminds you that you're not where you want to be. So that's an option as well if you're trying to get rid of homesickness, because depression and homesickness are different. So, you can kind of flex the thing there. My number one suggestion for getting rid of homesickness is sometimes we have people in our lives, in our present lives as expats, we have friends and relationships that we've built where we are in Japan, wherever you might be. Maybe you're in Colombia, maybe you moved there because you heard prostitution was cheap. But we have these connections that we've made, and we kind of take them for granted because they don't share the same traditions as us during Christmas time or during the holiday period. And we forget that we always have the option of creating drama in our friend group that's really going to shake up both the lives of our friends and our loved ones who are near to us, and shake it up in our lives. Maybe get pregnant for your friend's boyfriend, young lady, if you're out there just looking for something to do with yourself. Maybe try to get your friend involved in a pyramid scheme. Maybe don't even really have a pyramid scheme, but like do the whole pitch to them and put them in that uncomfortable position of either having to give you money or have that awkward conversation about I'm not giving you money and possibly ruin the friendship. So creating drama in your friend group is a really good way to make all your problems local, as opposed to, because homesickness is really just a broad problem, you know? But if we create more problems for ourselves locally, it's really going to reduce that homesickness. And that's, I think, all the advice I have for you during this holiday period. This has been Runako Universe. Once again, remember, I know everything, you know nothing. All the advice I've given, please take it exactly as I've given it and do nothing different. We're out.